Hello, today we are going to continue working on interpreting remainders. Let's review the 3 different ways on how to interpret a remainder. One way is to round it. Rounding the remainder means that you round it up and include it in the answer. In other words, you are adding one more to the quotient so that everyone or everything will be included. So in this example problem, there's 17 people and they're going to be sitting at a table that seats only 5. So when you do the math, there will be 3 tables needed, but then there's also 2 extra people. Because we can't leave the 2 people standing up, it would make sense to round it. So our answer would be we will need a total of 4 tables. And here's what you can remember about rounding. Use round it when you cannot leave people, animals, or things out. Another way to interpret a remainder is to drop it. Dropping the remainder, sometimes called ignoring the remainder, means that you are not using it in the answer at all. In this example problem, there are 17 marbles that need to be shared between 5 girls. So when you do the math, each girl will receive 3 marbles, and there's going to be 2 extra marbles left over. So in this case, we are going to drop the remainder because it doesn't make sense to split these 2 marbles to be shared between the 5 girls. So a tip to remember is use drop it when you cannot easily divide the remainder and when rounding up doesn't make sense to do so. Another way to interpret the remainder is to share it. Sharing the remainder means that you are including the remainder in the answer and reporting it as a fraction or a decimal. In this example problem, the 2 friends are sharing 5 cups of lemonade. When we do the math, each friend will get 2 cups each, and there's going to be 1 extra cup left over. Because it's lemonade and it can be easily divided between the 2 friends, each friend would get 2.5 cups. So here the remainder is shown as a fraction. The tip for this strategy is share it is often used with money, food, and measurement. So you can use share it when you can easily and equally split the remainder, and it makes sense to do so. Let's take a look at an example problem. So before you start doing your work today, you want to get out a notebook and a pencil, or you can use a whiteboard or marker to do your work. When you do your work for each problem, you must include the math. You need to write if it is drop it, round up, or share it. And you also need to use a complete sentence or sentences to explain why you interpreted the remainder the way you did. Lastly, you need to take a photo of the work and then upload it onto each page for each problem. Let's take a look at this problem. At Zoe's 12th birthday party, she wants to give each of her friends some glow-in-the-dark pencils. She has 5 friends coming, and she has 113 individual pencils. If she gives each person the same number of pencils, how many glow-in-the-dark pencils will each friend receive? So on my whiteboard, here's my work. I showed 113 divided by 5. My answer is 22 remainder 3. So now I need to think about what I'm going to do with the remainder of 3. Here we are sharing pencils. So I chose the strategy drop it. I chose drop it because it doesn't make sense to share the remainder. So I'm not going to share the number 3 pencils with each of the 5 friends. It doesn't make sense to do so. So my answer is each friend will get 22 pencils. So again, on your sheet of paper or your whiteboard for each problem, you need to show the work, like right here. Right next to it, you need to write what strategy you used, and somewhere on your board or your paper, you need to write a sentence to explain why did you choose to use that strategy. And then you take a photo, and then you'll put it on this page that will include these 3 parts to the problem.